Well, good morning, campers. It's about 4 o'clock in the morning. We find ourselves heading north on I-77 coming out of Columbia, South Carolina. Picked up a bucket truck in Florida, heading to Hartford, Connecticut, or that area. Now, not much else to do out here in the middle of the night, but chit-chat. So let's talk briefly about going into Canada. Now, when you are going to take a load into Canada, let's stop and think about it and calculate the cost. Now, because they have socialized medicine in Canada, they have what's called a vice tax, which makes everything very high taxes. So, food and fuel and everything else just can get outrageous up there. They happen to love it because the government takes care of their medical bills, which wouldn't be too bad an idea down here, I guess. Anyway, as you go into Canada at 79 cents a mile, delivering an RV, you ain't going to make it home without it costing you money. Two of the companies that I have ever worked for that did Canada, they had a bonus that they paid every time you cross that border. They pay a $300, up to $300 bonus. That pretty much covers your added expense going into Canada. If they didn't pay it and you took the job, that $300 comes out of your pocket. Now, I have paid up above Toronto. I was a cheapskate, so I got their luncheon special. It was $9.50. Two people was almost $30 for a luncheon special. It can get outrageous. The fuel is sold by the liter, the British liter, or a quart. It's a heavy quart up there, and you think, oh, I'm getting it for $1.38 a gallon. No, it's $1.38 a quart and a quarter, really. You're talking anywhere from $3 1/4 to $5 a gallon for fuel. So going up there is expensive. Getting across the border is tough. At times, if you don't have what they call the PARS, it looks like that little barcode you buy on any product in the U.S. or in the world right now. They have a PARS that they scan and have all the paperwork already done for you. If you have that, it's no problem getting in. It's still going to be expensive, but before you go to Canada, you daggum well better know that you've got a passport and that you are not a convicted felon. And in Canada, convicted felons are described differently than down here. Went up with a guy, two of us took two different trucks up, tried to get back into the U.S., and they came and offered to arrest him because he was a convicted felon. And what he had done is missed one child support payment here in the U.S. It showed up on his record, and he couldn't get out of Canada. Now, realistically, the police and the Canadian border, they're not really so interested in justice as they are getting your money. It cost him $3,500 in cash, well, in credit card, to get across the Canadian border, and they told him, don't come back. So he got out of that by paying off the border, and you can do that. Don't ever think it's their final say. They always stop for money. But anyway, these are things you want to know about before you go into Canada. If you are a convicted felon in any way, don't go into Canada, because you likely are not coming back. So, as you get into Canada, especially the eastern part, now there is a time warp in Canada, and it's called the French influence. So as you get into not so much Ontario, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Calgary, or British Columbia, or the eastern provinces, it is that province of Quebec, which was colonized by Cartier, the French explorer, and they speak French. That province believes that they are a sovereign country and should be separate from Canada with their own form of government. Now, they're right in the middle of Canada, but They should have their own government and everything should be in French. So when you get to Quebec, you will find that most of their road signs and street signs are written in French. Now, maybe you don't speak French, but they do. So it might say all trucks over 10,000, well, everything in metric too. So all trucks over 32,000 kilograms use only the middle lane in French. You don't understand that. So they have a cute little law enforcement officer waiting behind a bridge abutment to see you drive staying in the right lane like you normally would down here. But that sign back there said, you know, if you're over that weight, which you don't know what the weight is anyway because it's in kilograms, you have to be in the center lane. He's going to pull you over and write you a nice fat ticket for being in the wrong lane. And you're going to go, but I didn't see any sign. And he will say, the sign said you have to stay in the center lane. He says, it was in French. I don't speak French. He says, if you're going to come to this country, you have to learn the language. And they prey on the tourists and the people who don't speak French. If they know you don't speak French, and all of them speak perfect English anyway, and they understand it, they will not speak any English, and they will make your life miserable. They hate English-speaking people. So if you're going to go up there, get ready to pay through the nose. As you get up above the Arctic Circle, fuel, I've seen it run up to $8 a gallon, depending on where you are above the Arctic Circle. So if you're taking stuff up there to the ice roads, not dropping them off in Edmonton, Alberta, you better be prepared to take plenty of money with you. Some border crossings are pay, some there's no pay, but there's always going to be a border crossing customs there. Some are only open 8 to 2 or 8 to 5, and they only have 1 or 2 guys there, and they're in the middle of nowhere. And you find that out west as you get into the Dakotas, and especially in well, below Calgary and Saskatchewan, in Wyoming and Montana, you're going to find little crossings. They're just a tiny little building, and there's one officer in there, and he's there from like 9 to 2, sometimes 8 to 5. The rest of the time, he's closed down, and you have to drive 300-400 miles around to get to the next Canadian crossing. So know where the heck you're going and know what time of the day you're going to cross.